I mean, obviously, you going into music, like, were you quite young when you started to have the love and wanted to do music?
You know what's crazy? I could always do it. My brother used to always be on Channel U, Big Phil, and he's close friends. My mum that was just here, she used to like look after the younger siblings of Jamie, Skepta, and that, and they were like my brother's friends.
Okay.
So this is when we moved to Enfield in Richmond Hill, and he used to look after them. So I would always hear it.
Mm.
And when my brother's writing lyrics, I would write lyrics too. But my main thing was football. At the time, I didn't know. But to be fair, my parents didn't even like me playing football. They were saying there weren't no career
Really?
in that.
I mean, but
There
it doesn't sound far fetched though, because a
Yeah,
lot of traditional African parents, with
yeah,
artists I speak with, they always want. Most have said that they're happy for their sons or daughters to go in the music route, but
mm,
they kind of have like the ultimatums that if it doesn't go
yeah,
well, like we want you to do you know what I mean? So
yeah. But what happens is when you focus on Plan B too much, Plan B becomes your Plan A.
no, for
So
sure.
that's what it is. But yeah, I could always write because I used to see these and learn from them. And again, when I moved here, I used to live a few doors from Chipmunk, so there's a little park that everyone would play football in, and I would just watch them and come home and practice. But it's just like the dancing. I'll be able to do it at home, or the singing. I'll be able to do it at home in the comfort of just me. But
Mm.
with anyone else, I wouldn't do it. Um, and I just thought everyone knows me for football. Let me just stick to that. But then, yeah, I just had a little situation 2 years ago just before I went Ghana, and that made me think, yo, Stan, just go for it.
So
Yeah,
so obviously, like you were saying, you were seeing like people like Skepta, Jamie, like Chip, like playing
yeah,
football, like amongst like just playing around and stuff like that.
yeah,
And obviously being successful musicians that they are, was
yeah.
that kind of like seeing them not just like playing football, but like seeing their music careers? Did that kind of allow and tap into your brain and thinking, you know what, if they can do it, I can actually do it.
With with Skepta, not so much because I was really young and I
Mm,
never came to that. But with Chip, where used to see him every day, I was like, oh, like I didn't say if he could do it, I could do it. But I used to say if I wanted to do it and I had the right people around me, I
mm,
could do it.
mm,
But it was kind of like that.
mm,
Um, and Chips was that like to this day, like when I meet celebrities and rappers or people in my industry, like I'm not in, even though I'm like happy to see them be around them kind of people, I'm not in awe because I feel like I'm gonna be there in
mm.
just a matter of time. And oh, NSG just opened a place that looks crazy. I haven't managed to go there myself, but they're my friends as well. Shout out NSG.
Okay,
Their
so
place looks
okay,
crazy.
so I mean, okay, I mean, let's talk about NSG because,
Yeah,
they seem to be your influences as far as like making
yeah,
music.
yeah,
Like, how big they've blown up as a group. Like, how did
yeah.
you connect with them in the first place?
To be fair, we live not far from each other, so
Mm.
I'm in Tottenham, they're in Hackney,
Okay, so not too
so
far off, yeah.
it's not far. And I went to college with a few of them,
Mm.
so we kind of got really cool there. Then they introduced me to the rest of them, and then I used to do coaching at Arsenal Kicks. Like, so I started off as a volunteer, and I went to a little park called Rosemary, and they would all come there and play football. And them times that I could see them gathering and getting
Mm.
closer to their goals,
Mm.
and then out of nowhere they just blew. But I always knew they was gonna do it because
Yeah.
they were dedicated and
I could see
really
that
talented.
because, like, literally, like, they got bangers upon bangers, bro. Do you know
Listen,
what I mean?
it don't stop with them. They're so
Yeah.
creative, all of them,
Yeah,
all of them.
all of them are. I mean, have you been to like studio sessions or like have you been to like any of their gigs like just to kind of
Yeah,
see what the vibes like and all that?
I went. I went to their tour last year, so I was there for 3 of the days, I think it was. So I went to the Brighton one, and I went to the. And I think I just went to the Brighton one, and I went to the London one, which is the big one. And the other days I weren't available. But yo, it was crazy. It
Yeah,
was
man.
that motivated me to get into it more. Even the after parties, um,
So what did you take out of the whole experience? Like, obviously, you know, some of you guys from
yeah,
NSG are friends, and obviously the
yeah,
whole group, you know, you must be fully connected now because obviously a few of your
yeah.
friends. What have you taken away as far as like how they've progressed in their careers so far?
I would say I've taken away like not to be fearful of yourself. Just embrace your identity.
Mm,
I've taken that from them. Um, they do things unorthodox and different, which
yeah.
I really appreciate that from them.
Would there be people you would love to collaborate with?
100%. To be honest, I've got one with an artist called Jigs. He's from Hornsey. I've got a few tracks with him, probably enough to make an EP.
Okay.
I've got one track with Tion.
Okay. So I mean,
Yeah,
how did that connection with Tion Wayne happen?
yeah, it's funny because he's from Edmonton. I'm from
I
Tottenham.
mean, yeah, like local people. So I mean, what
Yeah, but
did you just see him on the streets, or like how
nah,
did that actually come?
he's good friends with my cousin that they went to school together,
Mm,
and my cousin took me to one of these concerts one day, and then I think after that, like he heard some of my music and he said I was good. Then later on, like we got called. He let me come to the studio with him. He had a song that he didn't yet have a hook to,
mm.
and I just heard the beat. I was like, I could do a hook to that. And I just did it. Then he's like, yo, you just keep this. So yeah,
Yeah.
expect that maybe this year if this year goes.
I was literally going to ask: is the track already out, or would we be waiting for it?
Probably, hopefully, end of this year. I think he's got his own album that he needs to
Right, so
bring
he's
out.
got his own promo for like
Yeah, yeah,
his album
yeah,
first
yeah,
before other
yeah,
things. So
yeah,
okay, so we're hopefully expecting that we got a track with you and Tion Wayne by the end of this
yeah.
year that you can add to your accolade and say like, okay, that's a collaboration that's already set in the works.
Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
no, with that, I hope to work with plenty of artists. Headie one,
Mm.
another person that I kind of grew up with, Jay Huss. I think he's sick. Nines. One of the people at the youth club said, "I haven't made it until I do a song with Little Dirk." That's his favorite artist. So.
Okay.
Yeah, nah.
Before I move on, you mentioned about Headie one. You said about. Did you say that you were another close
Yeah,
by sort of guy that
yeah.
you knew?
He lives not far, but my cousins used to live in Broaddock Farm, so I used to go there regularly, and he's someone as well that I kind of knew he was gonna blow.
Mm.
I just knew it. He was just sick at rapping. So my cousin Thierry and Michael, like we'd link up with him and another one of our close friends called Denzel and go to my auntie's shop on Tottenham High Road, and then he would just start rapping, and I was saying, yo, this kid is he's sick. Like
Yeah.
he's sick. Man.
So wait, did you meet him on his early stages of his career before he really blew up?
Proper early stages. This was when he was probably in school, secondary school. So he was this when he was in secondary school, and we was both in secondary school. Sorry, and I just knew he was gonna blow, man. We was there was a summer where we was together a lot, and then after that, I kind of stopped chilling there as much, but it was enough for me to know, yo, this kid's special, man. He's gonna blow.
Yeah. No, look where he is now. I mean,
Yeah,
working with
yeah.
Drake. Come on, man.
I'm not surprised. He's just got some sauce about him. So, yeah.
Like he's definitely got the sauce. I mean, what of your earliest memories of him in terms of like being around him before he blew up the way he did?
I remember walking through the rec and just like listening to him spray bars with my cousin Thierry, and I remember at my auntie's shop. So we'll be looking after it for the meantime while my auntie pops out, and then he'll be spraying bars, showing us what he's got, and then I was just like, yo, this kid's sick. Yeah. But at the time, it wasn't even a thing where everyone was doing music. So on top of it, I was like, yo, I'm surprised that I used to sit at home and think, not a lot of people could do it. I sit at home and think, I could do it, but I haven't let no one else know I could do it. So when I used to hear him I used to think, yo, this kid is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it just seems that like a lot of your connections with music that kind of, in a slight way, got you to where you wanted to start doing music has
yeah,
been like
without
being
knowing.
exposed without, yeah, exactly, without knowing, like being
Yeah,
around the people like JME, like Skepta, like Headie One. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, these people that you're mentioning that that you've seen kind of, the early stages. I mean, you're local as well, so that kind
yeah,
of makes sense in all of that. So realistically, that could be a good story you could tell your kids. You know what I
yeah,
mean, in the future, like when you blow up and you can say
yeah,
like, oh yeah, I heard about this Headie One guy. I said, well, you
yeah,
know what, I used to be, you know what I mean, like I
yeah,
was with him
yeah,
these times. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. This is before the anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, nah, he's a talent, man.